everyone, Leliria is here to read a new story for you, and it is called Celestia Makes Dinner. This should be very interesting. Let's get started. Most humblest greetings, my sweet sister Celestia. I regret I must delegate a near trivial matter such as this to that note of, however, due to a summons in response of two recent events that need not bear repeating, sweet sister. Regardless, I am under stringent parameters in light of these events. Thus, I must leave a simple note for you to explain your late night situation. Due to the slight oversight on my part, months ago I swore an oath to our tea supper chef that he may have this exact night off every year. I still question the reasoning behind such a deal. Why only the one night and such? No matter, I suppose. It has, however, placed you in a precarious situation. I am aware that you have a profoundly better at preparing breakfast than I. Granted, my only time of preparing breakfast had been my last by royal decree, if I may expand upon the point, sweet sister. However, if memory is to serve me right, evening meals had eluded you in our youth. Fear not though. Your sister Luna was gifted foresight in this matter and took the liberty to work up a small dinner for you. Think nothing of it, sweet Celestia. It is merely my thanks for your hard work in recent events and the dedication you have shown me. As for the meal I have prepared for you, I have ordered the chef before he departed to place the platter I made in a box of the refrigeration. Simply follow the instructions below and all shall be well. With great love, Luna. Oh, Luna, 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 ye of little faith. You should have known by now not to doubt your older sister. While I do appreciate the gesture, I think I capitalize on the opportunity to show you just how much your sister has learned in her years away. A slight confident smirk swept a line across Celestia's face after she finished reading Luna's letter. Luna obviously was issuing the challenge to Celestia after Celestia shamed her before the breakfast fiasco. Or maybe Luna just wanted to be nice and prepare dinner for her sister after 3 months of reconstruction that had to be done to Canterlot. Perhaps Celestia would just make something small to prove her point and eat Luna's dish to be nice. With a small nod and a gentle pat atop the avian head of her dear phoenix, Philomena, Celestia excused herself from the study and tip-hoofed down to the dimly lit halls of Canterlot Castle, and down the hall, across the parlor, around a dozen or so watch guards doing just a terrific job of protecting the princess. As Celestia crept and slinked around the dark halls of the castle, she considered if she would have to apply a mandatory night shift training session just for her guards, as well as considering why she was sneaking around through her own house. It was just too fun to end just yet. It did not take long for Celestia to meet the doors of the closed kitchen. Slowly, with a hint of magic, Celestia creaked through the door open and poked her head in. Just as Luna said, not a soul was in the kitchen. Not a chef, not a server, not a cleaner, which would have to be addressed in the morning, of course. And the kitchen itself was near pitch black except for the pale illumination of the moon coming in from the skylight. Celestia had a glint from the tip of her horn trigger all the dormant lights in the kitchen to flicker on and set the room ablaze with light. The princess of the morning herself had to squint her eyes suddenly with the bright shock of white in the kitchen cutting into her eyes. Oh yes, right, she noted to herself. To have white towels in the kitchen in exchange for something less reflective. Celestia blinked a few times, trying to get the bright spots out of her eyes before she started cooking. Now she had to think, what would make a good evening meal? What's good for dinner? What goes best with supper? What do you have for tea? There had to be something. Roasted spinach with a light vinaigrette. No, that's far too extravagant. What would she tell Luna when she got home? Sorry, sister, I didn't eat your nasty, nasty plate of food because I wanted some classy food. Horrible, just horrible. No, Celestia would have to think of something outside the box for this one. Something simple. Of course. It was so simple. Celestia's horn grew bright as she started to orchestrate all the cabinets and cupboards in the kitchen to her will. As boxes, mixes, bags, and bowls cascaded through the air, Celestia thought back to something her prize student once told her. Have you ever had macaroni and cheese, princess? It's really yummy. My sister Candace makes it for me every night. She watches me. She even lets me help her make it. And she said it was so easy. And it is. Finally, Celestia found it within the clutter of the cascading boxes and the kitchen delights. A simple box with an animated mitten on it in front of the freshly prepared bowl of mac and cheese. All right, Mr. Helper. Whoa. How do you make mac and cheese? Celestia muttered to herself as she turned the box over with her magic to read the instructions scrolled out on the back, the box rattling with the macaroni noodles as the box turned. How to make on stovetop. Number 1. Stir the macaroni into 6 cups of boiling water. It is simple as Twilight said it had said. The box was soon empty of all the noodles in a hovering pot. Celestia guided the pot over to the stove and gently placed it on one of the burns, and finally letting the magic hole disappear off of it. One by one, glass cups ducked under a now running faucet of water, filling themselves up only to be poured right back out into the pot until Celestia counted out 6 total cups of water. 2. Boil rapidly, stirring occasionally for 7 to 9 minutes, or until the macaroni is tender. 7 to 9 minutes. The box was quickly turned over once again, for Celestia had to read the front of the box. Helper, instant mac and cheese. Instant. Since when did the definition of instant become 7 to 9 minutes? And furthermore, where was the instruction on how to work in the cheese? And what sort of macaroni and cheese didn't have cheese? It was clear that Celestia would have to improvise on the directions a little. It was clear that the box was a simple misprint. First of all, she would have to make these noodles instantly tender. It all takes a simple spell of flash in time, and glob, chunks, and wedges was all what Luna was greeted with in front of the gates of Canterlot Castle in the morning. All the guards plastered against the wall and ceiling by thick wads of smooth warm cheese and bits of noodle through their entire castle and garden. The only thing that wasn't plastered by the cheese was her older sister, quietly chewing spoonfuls of a single bowl of her own craft. And why did you not eat my roasted spinach and vinaigrette? Was all she asked. This was interesting. She should have ate the roasted spinach and vinaigrette. I would have ate it. I'm pretty sure it's probably good. It's probably better than the mac and cheese. Well, I'm signing off, and this was fun. I'll hear from you again, and that will be on Friday. Bye-bye.